Alright. What's up, YouTube? HPJ here, and I'm coming at you guys today with a channel update video. So, pretty much, this will update you guys for what's going to happen between March and May. I know a lot of you guys probably want to also hear what's going on, what happened at regionals, and what's been going on, and the whole shebang. So, I want to get to that towards the end of the video so you guys can know exactly what's going on with that. But I like to do my update videos, of course, informing you guys of what's going to change with the channel, if there's any new changes and stuff like that. So, let's begin. Alright, so live streams, they're back and they're in full effect. But they are a little different now. They are going to be relegated to different days. So I will stream 2 days out of the week, and they're primarily Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, if you are a Puzzles and Dragons fan, if you like my Puzzles and Dragons content, well, you'll get it live on Saturday. Saturdays. Saturdays is just more convenient for a lot of people because, well, Puzzles and Dragons tends to be one of my big successes out of all the other things that I practically have put on the channel, and they have potentially flopped. So I think a lot of people will be pretty excited to hear that Saturdays are going to be Puzzles and Dragons live streams. I'll go through various dungeons and descends during how much stamina I have, how many magic stones I've saved over the week. And if I do like specific roles I want to roll during live stream, then bam, we'll have that. I do have to work on my music selection for all my live streams because I have to update it. How to make sure nothing gets me hit with a copyright strike. Because just an update warning. If you can't listen to my last live stream, that's primarily because I used Oath in the live stream bracket and it got copyright striked. Well, it got hit with a ban in Japan because I had question mark. But yeah, that's the whole unfortunate thing about these copyright strikes is that they can affect everyone and anyone, and they don't care how much they affect you. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and figure out my live stream stuff before tomorrow because tomorrow will be Yu-Gi-Oh! And Sundays are relegated to Yu-Gi-Oh! So if I want to play YGO Pro, if I want to test out my decks, that's the day for me to do it. That's the day if you have a lot of questions, you should primarily come during that portion of the live stream, or that's the live stream you come to for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Questions if you want to hear them answered live. So Puzzles and Dragons are Saturday, Sundays are Yu-Gi-Oh! And then there's this potential third game. I don't know what my potential third game could be. Right now, it's more so looking like it could be Animal Crossing, because Animal Crossing Pocket Camp is more accessible than regular Animal Crossing. I don't have a Dazzle, I don't have a Elgato, so I can't, live stream stuff like, well, my Splatoon matches. I can't live stream me playing the World of Light. I can't, all the really cool things I'd wanted to do. I unfortunately just can't do it because I don't have a laptop. I don't have access to it. So I'm pretty much doing everything on my phone, and it's just so much more convenient. The only downside to doing stuff on my phone, of course, is that, well, I can't deal with when people comment and stuff and all that. So it does become an issue there. So while trying to work that out, I think the best thing to honestly tell you guys is that if it does come to it, Animal Crossing will probably be the third installment. I just don't know how I'm going to fit it in. Maybe I'll fit in like daily updates, or I'll do like a random run through, because it's pretty much a very chill game with a very chill and amazing community. And for the most part, when I just do Puzzle and Dragons, when I do Animal Crossing stuff, it's just collecting stuff and then doing a little task, and then that's pretty much it. Like it's like the most chill game. It's like playing The Sims, pretty much, but you have animal friends and you have a lot of Nintendo products. So I'm still questioning if I want to do that. I don't know what the copyright setups are for Animal Crossing, but I've seen a lot of people do it, so I'm sure I wouldn't get hit too much. And I know they did uplift their whole little situation a few months ago, or a month ago. So I don't think I really have much to worry about when it comes to um, Animal Crossing, if that's the third one. The other option was Pokemon, but that's primarily limits itself to either replaying Pokemon Duel or me trying to get stuff together for Pokemon Go, which that really just depends on itself because I'm nowhere near a decent enough Pokestop or a gym to really focus on a lot of those things. So that's primarily why it could possibly be no for Pokemon. And Pokemon Duel is pretty much just like a chess game but with Pokemon figures, and you're pretty much playing their variation of chess. It's very weird setup and board thing, but I was considered playing it for the channel, and at a point I just said never mind. I didn't even want to do it. I haven't updated um, a lot of the stuff that I had on there, so yeah, you can imagine why I am hesitant on it. So I don't know what the third game is. I'd have to fit in some time slot for the third game as well. So I don't want to overwork myself, but I also don't want to leave you guys hanging. Don't expect a little stuff like Dragon Ball Z and stuff because I'm not interested in those games. Those aren't like my criteria or my cup of tea. So anyone who thought those were coming to show up, sorry, not this show. You'll find it on someone else's, and hopefully they do a better job. Um, so next to that, let's just talk about the two in their own separate setups. So, Puzzles and Dragons, since the team building showcases are going extremely well, they will continue. They are doing great, actually. I haven't heard any complaints or anything. So, turn that off. Yeah, I will continue to do my team building showcases. Dungeon runs will be included in the team building showcase because there are some dungeons that I can easily take the team with and take down a dungeon, or I can easily just scope out a couple of dungeons at once, put some music into their backgrounds, and then just keep it going. Or just leave it blank with commentary. It just really depends on that. So, updates and information and stuff, if it's not convenient to me to get to you guys as fast as I possibly can via social media, I think social media would be the best way for me to communicate with you guys for updates and stuff. Because it's very hard to get to a computer or get my phone to Wi-Fi, and then I can update like that. Some Wi-Fi just doesn't work, some does, so it is very, very situational. So that's why I'm telling you guys, if check out my Instagram, check out my Twitter, check out my other social links, because that's where a lot of my information will be coming from when it comes down to what potential stuff I could be streaming for the channel, what potential stuff I'm looking at in terms of updates and all that whatnot. So I don't want you guys to miss out on it, and I want you guys to make sure that you are caught up with a lot of that stuff, because a lot of stuff could be, potentially new cards, freebies, all that stuff for Puzzles and Dragons. Same thing goes with Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'll get to that in just a second. But yeah, as far as Puzzles and Dragons goes, that's pretty much what the little bit of the update I wanted to tell you guys about that. So now let's move on to Yu-Gi-Oh! And with Yu-Gi-Oh! It's pretty much the same thing. So deck profiles are not going to resume till next weekend, and that's primarily because I oopsie daisied and ended up losing my mount for my stand. So for my tripod stand, and unfortunately I bought a new tripod stand, but the new tripod stand only works for iPhones, and I don't own iPhone, so I unfortunately will have to wait till I get a new one, so that way when I do record next time around, it's not so wobbly, it's not so finicky, you guys can actually see it, and it won't affect a lot of more things that shouldn't affect it. Hopefully by then everything is together. Next is product, events, gameplay, tournaments, and info like that. Like I said, for Puzzles and Dragons, check my social media. Check all that you possibly can. I put the links in there for a reason. So, if you guys want to see what events are going on, follow that. I'll do my best to update as much as possible, both for the OCG and the TCG. It'll probably be a lot easier for OCG because the OCG stuff mostly comes from YGO organization. when it comes to OCG. They do post TCG information, but that's really up to if TCG Konami wants to upload stuff or post stuff, as far as gameplay and stuff like that. So that's literally up to them. But I will try to repost and post it as much as possible for you guys, so that you guys can see it. Alright, so that's pretty much the bulk of what I want to talk about. Now let's move on to regionals and how that experience went. So as any of you guys know, it was a bittersweet day. I ended up losing my binder. I thankfully got a new one off of a friend, and I only could fit in what I possibly could fit in. There's still a lot of stuff that I do want to put into the binder just to say, okay, well, it's in the binder, and if I can't get rid of it, I'll just dump it. Type of situation. Now, as far as everything else goes, I do want to thank my friends that I went with, because that was it. Although it was bittersweet, there were some memorable moments. It was nice to see a lot of people. It was really nice to just interact with a whole lot of people, because it's very, very stressful to get to a lot of places in my current situation. So to take the time out to go to a regional event was worth it. It really was. It was so much fun. Till the whole incident with the ID came up. So let's talk about that. Okay, so I don't know exactly if that was like something that was implemented at the time I was not around. I do understand with a lot of the current events going on, you gotta check everybody's ID. You gotta make sure everybody is who they say they are. So I do understand that, but it was not nice of how the head judge, I guess, put himself out there. It was just very, very negative, and it was like, dude, I've been in line waiting for your judges to get their act right. The judges were not even caring. They were too busy legitimately kissing each other's asses or kissing other players' asses just to get some type of benefit from it. Let's just be real. And for the head judge to get mad at me first, and well, you're not even finished with your deck list. I'm like, yeah, I'm not finished with my deck list because I still need to add 3 more cards to my deck list, and I didn't have enough time because I was being shifted around every which direction in the line that was bullshit. And yeah, it was just ridiculous. Like, I at least made it before the cutoff, otherwise I would have got a one round loss. Well, that didn't even factor in because at that point, after a lot of words were exchanged over the I had an ID, didn't have an ID, I didn't have a slip for the coffee setup. I was like, well, your judges didn't give me one because they were too busy kissing people's asses. And at that point, it was just like, well, I don't know what to tell you. It was like, well, then fine, then I won't enter. Well, I didn't say it like that, but it was pretty much implied, like, you can't enter because you don't have this. So when I asked my friends about it, they're like, yeah, you didn't know that? I was like, no, when was someone going to tell me? And then that spewed up a whole nice little argument about that, too. Of someone told me that they said it. I apparently said yes, I had one, which I didn't because I spent the entire day before trying to get my ID situation together. Well, good update for that. My ID situation is I got my ID, so that situation should never happen again. Now, other than that, like, it was just really, really crazy about the whole ID situation. So that ended up part of the reason why, unfortunately, I didn't play during the event, and it was very hurt. I was very hurt by not being able to play. It was very unfortunate, and people have to understand why it was so much. It meant so much to me to want to play this time around. So I'll explain it in the clearest fashion I possibly can. YouTube is not very nice to a lot of people, especially people like me, because I'm a very casual player and primarily just focus on one particular deck. I'm lucky enough that my particular deck ended up getting support when it did. And even waiting for the TCG to get all of the stuff, what are we still missing? We're still missing our Link Launch, and we don't have Conductor. So I was still going to go into it knowing that I wasn't going to have good matchups against Ultra Ice, Sky Striker, Thunder Dragon, and still wanted to play. Even if I didn't win a majority of it. Like, I knew I was going to top, but I just wanted to make sure, like, I played all the rounds and I made it through. I just couldn't do it because of the whole ID situation. And I know my friend is watching this, and I want him to understand um, I'm not blaming you for what happened, and I'm not upset at you for the situation. But I want you to understand, and I want everyone else to understand, like, how much this really meant to me. Because for years and years, being ridiculed for being a Harpie player is not the easiest thing. Like, it has not been. When opposed to what most people say, oh, we don't have a problem with you being a Harpie player, that's not true. Because it's some really nasty things have been said, a lot of nasty things that have been talked about. I'm not the most liked person on YouTube, I get that. Because of, well, I'm very vocal about how I feel about a lot of situations. I'm very vocal about how I literally don't like a lot of people, especially a lot of those YouTubers who are in my area or from my area. So they know the feeling is mutual. We don't get along. It's life. But however, my friend kind of really doesn't understand that whole process. So it's best to just explain in the easiest terms that I possibly can. Is that it's very hard and difficult for me to play in a game where the format is never really in my favor. I have to work a lot harder than he's ever had to because, he has his regional tops. He's had his YCS stuff. He's had his invites. I've never had that within the last, never had that at all. Be very, very frank. I've never had one. I even remember when I changed decks. Like, it was very hard to even change deck because I just didn't have the stuff for it. And he has all his stuff for it, for his deck and his variations of it. I don't. I have to work very hard. I have to, count, make up for things that I don't have. Where people were having effect veilers and stuff like that. I didn't have effect veiler. I was still using Gourd. I was still using Trag. I had to wait for reprints and stuff, to get a lot of the stuff because it was just a lot more cheaper. And like, that's one big part of the situation. Is even though, my money isn't as good as the next person's money situation, like, I'm still making, good with what I can. And at least this game does give me those options. Even though some of those options can be completely shit, they are at least useful. Then on top of that situation, here we are talking about, the biggest issue of it all is I work really hard to get a lot of the things on my channel. This was something that meant so much to me because I can finally say to people, yeah, I at least played in the regionals. Where were you at? Did you play in the regionals? I actually dealt with a lot of the meta game. I had to deal with a lot of the crazy shenanigans and have a lot of the things to show for and talk about and go over. And that's something that I wanted to do. I mean, I still was able to do the deck profile, even though I didn't enter because I did play people on the outside. But the thing was, it was the regional thing. You would rather play people who are on the inside and who were actually playing the game and actually had, these particular decks or decks that people were actually playing that were not only just meta, but things that you probably wouldn't expect it. And that's why I was very upset about it because I really wanted to play and see how well I stacked up against a lot of things, what my combinations and stuff would do. And I didn't get that chance to. I didn't get the chance to really prove, not only to myself, but to prove to a lot of the naysayers that I can actually do these events and, win and actually participate and do well. So it was, yeah, that's their nail on chalkboard. Like, that's simply what I wanted to do, and I just was not able to do that. And it was very disheartening. It was very hurting to not be able to do that. Or, and I'm using the right word. I think I'm just using it in the wrong context. But it was a struggle to have to deal with that all day. Like, I couldn't do what I wanted to do. I couldn't do what I wanted to set out for. And I wanted my friend to understand, I can get ridiculed for this legitimately. He never has to experience that. Ever. I do. And, he was kind of saying, it's not that serious, not that serious. But yeah, when you're not on this end of the spectrum, you can say that. But I can't. I can't say, it's easy, because it's not. It's a lot of things that I have to put up with and have to deal with, especially when it comes to negative people, because you can't just blow those people away. So those people will constantly come back and back and back. It's like stepping on a cockroach and it never really dies. It just keeps coming, coming, coming. So it's that situation, and it's like, it's not easy for everyone to deal with those types of situations. Everyone has their own way of dealing with it. So it's very hard for me. That's why it was this very emotional situation that occurred into another emotional situation. So, like, I really did try to explain to him how much this meant to me. But I don't think he said he understood it. I don't think he really did, but I'm hoping he does. Maybe even hearing it now in a clearer voice, he does understand it when he watches this, because I know he is subscribed to it. I'm not like peeking him out of the crowd or anything, but I just hope he does hear it and that he understands. Just That's just how I am. I don't, relegate myself to a lot of things, but if I really wanted to do something, I really put my effort to it. To be shot down just really hurt me, and that's part of the reason why I just reacted the way I did, because I worked so hard for months to get this deck together, and I finally found the build that I wanted to stick with, I wanted to put together, and I didn't get the chance to play it like I wanted to. I didn't get a chance to play it in the event and deal with a lot of the things that I was really preparing for. Even with a lot of the newer stuff coming out, which I unfortunately didn't have a chance to play against, or test against at all. Like, I didn't even test against anyone but Salamangreat, and that wasn't even like a fully built Salamangreat deck, because I didn't deal with hand traps. I didn't deal with was it the dragon thing, the Thanos dragon. That's what everybody's calling it. It looks like Thanos. I didn't have to deal with that, but I knew eventually I would have to deal with a lot of those situations. So, like, it was things I wanted to test against, but I just didn't, because I feel like here we are again with the ridicule of what the game is. Like, because I'm not playing a meta style deck, no one wanted to test with me. And I did have to do a lot of my testing online. I had to do a lot of my testing, through whatever method I was testing it. And at that point, I was testing YGO Pro constantly. I was constantly testing the deck. I was constantly building the deck. I think I built like 4 or 5 different variations of Harpies within the last month and a half, just so that I can make sure I knew which variation I wanted to play. So the variation that you guys seen online was the final variation that I put together to make sure that it was not only the solid build that I wanted to play, but it was the cards and everything that I wanted in the deck to put together. I'm missing Twin Twister. So, like, that's pretty much the whole synopsis of how that went down and that whole situation. That's the reason why the deck profile was the way it was, because everything happened so fast and so quickly. I lost the binder, I lost the mount to my things. I never got a chance to do any deck profiles that I wanted to, which it just sucked. It really did, and I was just it sucks. It really does, and maybe next time around when I get the chance, I can participate and like I have all my stuff together. So next time there is no yeses or nos to it. I get everything together. I think the next regionals, I believe, that he wanted me to go to is in LA. So if I decide to go to LA regionals, hopefully I'll see a lot of you guys there, and hopefully I'll be participating that time, and there's nothing that's going to stop me in the wake of it. So, yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to the regional stuff. So that's pretty much how it all went down, and hopefully next time around it gets better. I can't say for sure because no one knows. Time tells. That's pretty much how life goes. So, with that all said and done, that's pretty much it for this update. If anything does change, I'll let you guys know via Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter. The links will be below. Also follow the Facebook page for the channel as well. And if you're a Harpie player and you want some assistance from other Harpie players, the link to the page, to the group is still in the social media links. So follow those as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. And HPJ signing out. Take care.